Right.
Years. We get lots of midnight donations, as you might assume. It's like, that's a new fish.
Oh.
Never seen that one before.
See, little ones are, there's orange ones within.
Yeah, there's a couple every once in a while. There's a
Yeah.
couple of orange ones
Sweet.
in there as well.
Yeah.
So are all of the birds brought in, or are there some locals that just gravitate here and hang out?
All of the birds that are flying are locals.
Okay, wow.
There's no birds brought in. The only ones that are brought in are our birds. So
Okay.
our flamingos, our pelican, Bugsy, and then all of our ducks have been born here.
Wow.
So they're all generations after generations,
Wow.
been living here a long time.
And so how long has this habitat been?
28 years.
28 years.
Yes.
Wow.
So all these are our oldest animals, our flamingos. They're all older than the habitat.
Wow.
They're all in their 30s and 40s.
Wow.
So
That's
they've
awesome.
been here. They've been here the whole time it's been open. Our ducks are we're about 10 generations deep. So grandparents, great grandparents, they've all been
Amazing.
born here. Originally they were brought in,
Right.
but they've been born here over the years. And then our pelican, Bugsy, is a rescue.
Oh, nice.
So he's
Now,
lived here for 8 years.
What is one of his?
Yes.
Is it clipped or just damaged?
No, it's broken from out in the wild. He was
Okay.
rescued off the coast of Laguna, California,
Nice.
and he was tangled up in fishing line and netting. So
Okay.
you can't have a pelican in captivity unless they cannot exist out in the wild, and that is his issue.
Nice.
So he lived here. He's lived here for 8 years, and we are also getting him a girlfriend very soon,
Oh,
and
really?
she has the exact same problem.
Oh,
She was found off the Gulf of Mexico, and same thing. She busted her wing in trash. So that's when we take those birds in. So that's where our pelicans come from. But everybody else, yeah, we have breeding programs for every animal out here besides the pelicans. And they all reproduce. Now, our flamingos are older, so they're no longer reproducing. They're 30s and 40s, that's senior citizens. So they're still laying eggs, which is amazing. They're still doing that activity, which is good, because that means they're healthy and they're happy. So that's what's important. But babies, most likely past that stage for them. You never say never. We
So
might.
would you say that when they have birds out in California that have to be rescued, do they all come here, or is there like certain
They all
places?
over the place. Yeah, it's
Oh,
it's a big system. If you're accredited, so if you're ZAA or AZA accredited by the Zoological Associations of America, that's where we are. And they will reach out to you if they have
you
those
have
sorts of
state,
issues.
yeah.
Now, they don't rehome a lot of pelicans. It's very rare to get them in a decent shape after those incidences. I would say the majority, and that's probably hundreds of thousands within a 6 months period, are euthanized. Because when they're found in those nets, they're usually very, very messed up. They've got a lot of problems. So to get them in a state where they're still healthy, they can still, have a good active life, that's pretty rare. So we don't get calls very often. And after COVID, a lot of those rescue groups lost their funding. They had a long time getting back up and running again. Rental prices in California, where these rescue groups are located, are through the roof. So unfortunately, a lot of these facilities are just not operating at the time being. So, and then of course, avian influenza is destroying our planet. So Bugsy hasn't had a girlfriend for 3 years because of that. In the United States of America right now, you cannot ship live birds across state lines. It is illegal. So you have to do a lot of permitting. There's a lot of legalities that go into it. So our female right now is in quarantine procedures to make sure she's healthy and she's strong enough to make the trip. She's located in New Mexico, and she's already in a facility. She's not out with other birds or other animals. So we're hoping to get her here hopefully very soon, because it's been a long time for Bugsy living on his own. And he is extra hormonal and angry at the world. When springtime hits and Bugsy doesn't get to do what everybody else is doing, he's not happy about it, which makes perfect sense. So hopefully she will be here soon, but that's another tricky process. You can't rehome a lot of these birds right now because of avian influenza. So there is a vaccine for that now, but the trials are being run in South America. That's where the populations of birds have been decimated. So it's very, very dire straits. So it hasn't been approved for the United States of America yet. So they're running trials. and hopefully we'll see some progress. Stop losing all of our birds would be
Right.
awesome.
Yeah.
But we did good this year. We hadn't have any cases of avian influenza yet. So last year they were off exhibit for 4 months. So if we get a call from our state vet saying that a case has been positive on this side of the Rockies, we will pull all of our animals off exhibit. A Canadian goose can get from Montana to Las Vegas
Right.
within about 24 hours. They are
Wow.
very quick,
Okay.
fly thousands of miles very easily. So last year we had one case at a local park. A goose came and it was tested positive, it was deceased. So we pulled all of our birds off from Halloween all the way until March. So they were off for a very, very long
Oh
time.
wow.
So this last winter though, we got lucky. No cases that we know of. Nevada's kind of weird though. The desert's a big place. You're not really gonna know if a falcon or a hawk is tested positive
Oh, yeah.
out there in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Yeah.
So we gotta kind of be on guard. With the ducks though, it's a little bit easier. They don't really get sick, but they do spread it. They spread it a lot. So the ducks people usually try to test about once or twice a month. Just take a random sample and make sure everybody's healthy. But the flamingos, if we get a case, will be off exhibit. So right now, all in the
Good.
clear, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
good.
Well, thank you.
So that's our biggest project.